Recently had a excursion up to Ben MacDui. Ben MacDui is the second highest mountain in Scotland. I've been up before a few times. I was having a little recce mission for maybe a future mission up there. Very unhospitable place in the winter, and also can be even in the summer as well. It's part in the Cairngorms National Park, which is a massive area, massive forest area as well at the lower edges of the kind of mountain range. Bit desolate, bit bleak, but the reason I'm up there is there's been numerous sightings over the last hundreds or so years of the big grey man. It's called the big grey man of Ben MacDui, and in Gaelic it's called Fear Liath Mòr. This creature or experiences have been seen, heard, felt over a good number of years up there. It's a strange place. So up there doing a little recce, and one of the main stories that comes from Ben MacDui is from a prominent professor of organic chemistry. He was a professor in the University of London between 1902 and 28, and a fellow of the Royal Society. He was a keen mountaineer, and he was basically explained to be one of the best in his day. So he knew what he was doing when he was up there and stuff like that. So he wasn't kind of a novice at climbing or anything like that as well. So what the story is from Professor Norman Colley. He was returning from the cairn of the summit in the mist, which is usually quite common up there because they'd be cloud covered because of the height of it. But he began to think he heard something else behind them, like footsteps. For every few steps he took, he heard another crunch, and then another crunch, as if someone was walking behind him or after him, but taking 3 or 4 times the length of his stride. He said to himself, "This is all nonsense." He listened and heard it again and again, but he couldn't see nothing in the mist. As he walked on, the eerie crunch sounded behind him. It was getting closer. He was seized with total terror, and he took to his heels and staggered and ran all the way back down the mountain. This isn't a keen feat. The mountain it's miles and miles and miles. It can be quite unforgiving when there is a lot of mist in the area. He'd ran down, and he kept the story to himself, and he relayed it years later. And it was then published in a number of magazines and newspapers at the day about this experience. And he said, "Whatever you make of it, I don't know, but there's something very queer about the top of Ben MacDui. I'll not go back there again by myself. I know that." It was also claimed by others that he'd actually seen a large grey figure or a large grey man. Some would put this akin to the Brocken Spectre. So the Brocken Spectre is a reflection or a shadow cast by the sun on the mist or on the cloud cover. I think with his experience, he would know that that wasn't the case. So that was one of the kind of prominent first stories, and there was a lot from it. And he did say he would never go back to the mountain himself up there anyway. There were numerous other stories up there and around the mountain range and other areas of the mountain range, which when you look at when they're written about in the past and you actually link them to some of the stuff that's happened now, or some of the things we link phenomena together now, you can see certain patterns with it. So we're hoping at some point we'll get another excursion up there, and we'll cover all these stories, and we'll cover some of the new stories and experiences up there as well. It's an interesting place, and even in my night up there, uneventful night, although it was a beautiful night. The stars were out, we could see the Milky Way. Then we settled down for a bit. We're going to get up during the night again. Came up, dense fog was there. The fog was there. We were in a plateau where you could, when it was clear, you could probably see for a kilometre round about you. Shy of that slightly, if so. But you could see a good bit. We went up during the night to actually have another look at the stars or see what we could see and things like that. It was total, really dense fog or cloud cover, so we couldn't see anything. Got up in the morning, and the dog was pointed at something, sitting pointed at something, facing straight ahead, as if she could see something in the fog or mist. So I was kind of thinking, is this a deer? Is it something else? There's no lot of animals up there apart from probably deer at some point, but they're usually in the lower slopes just because it's quite high. You're talking it's up 3,000 feet, if no further than that, where I was on this plateau. So it's pretty cold. It's probably maybe verging on 0, maybe 1, 2, 3 degrees, something like that. Even in the summer, it was 20 degrees down the bottom of the slope during the day, so it gives you an idea of what it's like. Got up in the morning, the dog was pointed at something, could see something in the fog. I got the FLIR camera out, you couldn't see past the fog with the FLIR camera. Stood forward, and 5 metres in front of me, I could actually see this area. I could hear a loud croaking noise. It was a very, very loud, prolonged croaking noise, which seemed to emanate from the ground. It's 5:53. Got a light night. Was I? Dog's been spooked. She was up with some weird fucking noise. It's over this side. Yeah, it's over here. I don't know what the fuck it is. There's not much animals up here, I think. I'd actually put it, we had a joke and said it was a croak monster. So I put the FLIR out again, I looked in the area, nothing was there. I was expecting to maybe see a deer or something behind us. The fog then cleared, you could see in front of us, there was nothing there. The croaking noise came then from behind me, behind the other side of the tent. And it's going to be funny doing this, but it was like that, and then cut off. And this was only 5 to 10 metres away from me. No idea where it is. Don't know if there's any frogs up there or large toads that make that noise, but that's what I heard. Only heard it twice. Very, very interesting, but couldn't find nothing. There's no really much life up there because you're kind of nestled the tent on a granite area, which is fully granite, hard packed ground. It's hard to get even pegs into it. You just get pegs into maybe some of the soft sandy area where the granite's broken down and stuff, and the vegetation is grown over the top of it. Anyway, interesting place, and we'll hopefully kind of go back visit soon, and we'll cover some of the stories from it. 5:53. Got a light night. Clear night, stars out. Wind got a wee bit. Big fog came in. Really foggy, couldn't see in front of you. I was spooked. She was up with some weird fucking noise. It's over this side. What the fuck is? There's much animals up here. Chris Meek checking out after doing a little short intro video for Truth Proof. Hope you're all well, guys, and I'll catch you all soon.